For this cycle, you need to go to course content, cycle 8, which starts at 10/7 Wednesday and ends on 10/13. Once you've selected this, you'll see multiple supplements and extra resources that will help you understand different sources and relate it back to our quarter's theme of identity. The first link will have your guided notes. So if you click this, you'll get the automatic download per usual. It'll take a minute to download. Once downloaded, you'll notice something that we're going over today, which is a heavy vocabulary section at the very beginning. You'll see terms like over-reliance that can be applied to many subject areas. However, things like primary source and secondary source might be unique only to English class and maybe social studies class. The second page asks you to differentiate between the 3 different types of sources and which one is more credible versus the last one. It also discusses why we should trust or not trust certain sources and why that matters, as well as evaluating the strength of evidence. In the PLP itself, this is lesson 4, plan, develop ideas, and gather information, sources, and evidence, lesson 4. The same vocabulary that I was speaking of in the study guide is listed above. If you are unsure about how to say a word, you can simply click the play button next to the word, and it'll read you the word that you are unsure about. You'll have what makes a source reliable versus less reliable, starting with primary source. When you already get to the questions, you'll see examples sometimes, such as the writer of a poem, a short story, or a novel is blank, and it'll discuss the different sources. Feel free to continue to use the Control F function, which for this one, primary source, the first or initial source of evidence. This is the most reliable. And then I'm still going, okay, I don't see poem, short story, or novel anywhere, so I'm hitting my arrows. So the primary source of a novel or a poem is the writer. So that would give direct support for me selecting A, or the first choice primary source for question number 1. You'll have a few true, false, and a few matching related to the vocabulary. Pay close attention to all capitalized words like not. This will be very similar to the ACT and SAT, where they will try to trick you into thinking that, oh, part of the definition is blank, so it must be blank. However, it's looking for the opposite of what's expected. This section will deal with gathering relevant and accurate evidence and who you should trust when supporting a claim or using correct evidence. You'll see terms that I began with, such as over-reliance. You'll have a nice series of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions that'll help you determine whether or not evidence has strength. You'll see a video when you get to this section that'll help you with determining the strength of the evidence. More questions very similar to the vocabulary and matching questions above. This section, separating factual data from complex inferences, has a graphic organizer that'll help you compare the difference between these two. Again, fact being stronger than a complex inference. Oftentimes hard to differentiate between. However, these questions and these X's that you can give your own research are super helpful. And you will end at question 24.